We are going to talk about a movie.
This is going to be a disaster.
It was one of the best movies of the year.
It's gonna go so well. Probably one of the last movies I would ever want to see in a theater. Hello, hello.
Hello, how's it going?
You know, I'm real interested how this is going to go. This is our first time trying out anything on stereo. So, yeah, this could be a real train wreck. It's going to be a lot of fun,
This could be
though.
a disaster. This could be an absolute disaster or a train wreck, and yeah.
It could be a lot of things. I feel like it's... So, thank you to everyone who's listening. I'm not sure how many people have joined us at this point or what's even really going on, but we're very, very excited to jump into this show. We're going to kind of start off talking about how Jacob and I both got involved in the SchmoeDown for the people who don't really know who we are, because today we're going to talk about our draft experience. And then kind of just talk about the draft overall and do some of our own fantasy draft picks. Are you excited, Jacob? Are you ready to do this?
Ready is a relative term, but yeah, let's do this.
All right. So, Jacob, why don't you, since you are the official Aussie of this podcast for the SchmoeDownUnder, I think you should begin with introducing yourself a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. Well, my name is Jacob London. I have been a SchmoeDown fan since day one. I've been following Christian and Mark and the Schmoes since over a decade now, which is kind of scary to think about, but and it's been absolutely fantastic, and I really love it, and I have loved the SchmoeDown ever since I first started watching it back in season 1 when JTE got questions wrong and couldn't pronounce anything correctly.
I mean, that's a long time to follow anything, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge percentage of your lifetime that you've been invested in this content.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting how just thinking back of like, oh wow, how long I've actually really been listening and watching this show. It's incredible.
My story is a little bit different. I haven't been quite as invested for quite as long. I think probably maybe 5 years or so now, 4 or 5 years or so now, which is still a pretty good chunk of time. But I remember being really, really invested when Late to the Party was starting to break into the SchmoeDown. That was kind of what really got me super interested, because it was really cool to see people that were from Arizona and people that I loved so much from their own YouTube content getting involved in the show. And so I started doing a reaction channel just because I was really excited to see them be part of it. And then that turned into me reacting to pretty much all of the matches all the time, which just became a thing of its own. And all of a sudden, people were watching my reactions. And then I got an invite from Christian to go to the studio. And ever since then, it's just been this big thing that I was not expecting it to be. And here we are, for me at least, like 4 years later, and we've been drafted. We're in the SchmoeDown factions this year. We
are. It's been a bit of a journey, and it's quite amazing that we are both now inside the SchmoeDown, and it's pretty awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fantastic. I couldn't believe that I've actually got drafted, and you know, now we're we're in the official, actual draft for the Schmoedown, and I'm very excited to be able to compete for my faction and help them win the championship.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because when you see your name is on a huge draft board full of so many people, so many rookies, but also so many veterans that know what it's like to win and to be champions and to be a part of this league. And that's in itself can be exciting and intimidating to see who even made that list. But then when the draft actually comes along and names start getting picked, talk about what that kind of feels like.
Yeah, so I I had discussions with one manager, and I'd been talking with Shannon for a while, and she was hinting that if I was still available in the later rounds, she would absolutely pick me up. But she wasn't. She didn't think I'd be available for her in the later rounds, which I thought was a bit interesting. But and then suddenly, yeah, she picked Sean, and I'm sitting there going, no, Sean was the right pick. Great, good work. You needed another Star Wars person, and then she started with, does anyone like Aussies? And I am like, holy crap, she's about to pick me. And that happened, and it was amazing and absolutely wonderful. And I am still, and our reaction was very subdued and very like, oh my god, this happened. And yeah, just
I
absolutely
think
over
you
the
were in
moon and
shock
could.
for a while.
Yeah, I kind of like it was one of those weird ones where like I kind of knew it was coming, but at the same time, the fact that it happened was also completely shocked, if that makes sense. Like it was,
Yeah.
yeah, like I just, yeah, don't have any real words to describe that moment other than it was absolutely incredible and amazing.
I yeah, I just remember sitting there just knowing that you were going to get drafted. I knew that there was no way that Shannon was going to let you go undrafted. I just knew it. When you just know things, like I just knew it was going to happen and I was kind of just waiting for when it was going to happen. Um and I just like I knew it was going to happen, but when it happened, I was so excited for you. Like I just was so glad you got to have your moment like that because it's such
Mm.
a big thing that I know you've wanted for such a long time. I mean, it's been years that you've been hoping that an
Yeah,
opportunity like this would come along, especially as an international fan.
yeah, and I think that's the other big thing for me is that being international, it's especially this year with COVID and with not being able to travel, it does make it really difficult for me to have that. Like, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to get over there as much as I would like, but I definitely do have a ceiling on me of how many times I can compete and what I can do within the Schmoedown. But the fact that Shannon even took that chance on me, despite knowing that ceiling is there, I am so grateful and absolutely over the moon with that because I do feel like I'm going to really prove myself in this league. Like I said, this year for me isn't about winning the belt, and it's never been about that. It's all been about going in and learning as much as I can and making myself the best player I possibly can be.
And I think that's a great and realistic goal to have. I think if you can accomplish that, you've done exactly what you're supposed to do, really, as a rookie coming into the league, and especially as an international rookie. So, and I know that you're going to go out there and kill it. So I'm not even concerned about that at all. But
But yeah,
maybe
that's
I'm a little bit
that.
biased, but whatever.
But that's just and that's been my perspective from the last 2 weeks, and I think that's been I think quite a few rookies' perspective, but I think that's been the best way to handle it. Of try not to beat yourself up and just be more, say I'm good and showcase showcase that you are really good at what you do. And I think I did that pretty well with backstage, but more so let let people think you're an underdog. Let people undervalue you, and then let surprise everyone. And I think that's the better way to do it than instead of bigging yourself up and getting knocked out in your first match. And that's
Yeah, I mean
genuinely my
that's
biggest fear.
that's I mean it does happen to people. It's a reality that is unfortunate, and you never want that to be you, and it does happen.
Mm.
I think my perspective from all of this has been kind of unique in a way, because part of me feels like I should be grouped in with the rookies because I played one match 3 years ago, and it was a fatal five way. So it wasn't
Mm.
a one-on-one match. It was kind of a almost a, win this fatal five way and you get to keep playing for the rest of the
Yeah.
season. You actually get to be in the Inner Geekdom League essentially. But that was a long time ago, and some people will say that I should be classed as a rookie. Some people will say that I shouldn't. But it's been an interesting way to try to even approach the draft, because it's harder to know how I should sell myself, how I should present myself to people, what people are expecting, if I'm even on people's radar. And it was tough for me because, like we said, the draft list was a big list. There was
Yeah.
so many people to choose from, and even just getting picked at all is a huge deal. So I was less assured in myself that I was going to get drafted than you, and it's just, I guess it's a weird mindset to kind of be in, because you do have that one match that either people are going to remember from all that time ago, or they're not even going to know that you had a match at any point.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I have seen people say that, oh well, she had her one shot 3 years ago and she blew it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true.
No, I
I
don't either.
I believe I came in second place in a fatal five way, which to me is not blowing it. And I was nervous. We didn't. There wasn't really like the same system there is now, where you're in a faction. Like they kind
Mm.
of just picked people to play. And so I didn't have faction support, and I didn't really have anything other than myself going into that match. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of trying to use it as motivation for any of those people who think, you get your one shot, and even though it was 3 years ago, you can't possibly be any better than that now. You can't possibly improve or be any different from that.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I knew I was kind of in the same situation as you, though, where the only person I was talking to, or the only faction I was talking to leading up to the draft, was the Finstock Exchange. No one else had reached out to me or given me any interest, so I knew that if I was going to get drafted, it was going to be by them. And I'm really excited to work with them, because they were the only ones that had enough belief in me to prioritize me in their draft to actually pick me up. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
On on a side note, did you want to make any comments before I move on?
No, I think you are going to be an absolute terror for the Finstock Exchange this year. I'm actually like, and I do think you spent the last 3 years really learning and studying, and you and I have watched a lot more movies than you had seen 3 years ago, and we make jokes about the fact that, oh my god, you've never seen this. Well, now you have. So I do. I think you are going to be a real undervalued player in this league, if that's probably the best way to say it. Do you want to listen? Do you want to see if what some of our listeners are saying?
Yeah, I don't really know how this works, but we're just gonna tap on
All
this
right, I'm gonna
message thingy and see. Go
see
for
what
it.
happens.
You see what happens. Let's do this.
Jacob, how hard is it going to be to root for Taylor when you know that when she wins points, it's for Gucci?
It's a
It's
great question.
hard. It is very hard. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. There's going to be a lot of nights where I am sleeping on a couch because I have already said this. I will be Taylor's biggest supporter when she is not fighting anyone from corruption. Then stuff up corruption. Corruption is who I care about, but also the fact that she is on Gucci's side, and even when she wins, when she's playing other factions, it's still going to be for Gucci is just painful to me. But I'm also very, very glad she got drafted. So I have a real I'm pulling at two different sides of me, and that is that is definitely where I'm coming from right now.
I feel like a lot of people probably see me going to the Finn Stock Exchange and being with Gucci as like this mismatch, but I don't actually think that's true.
No, I
Like
actually think
I think their vibe is exactly me.
Yeah, it's really been interesting listening to you over the last week, and just that you and in that group chat. That's been. It's definitely your vibe.
I'll be reading our Finstock Exchange group chat that we have, which is the best group chat in the world, and he'll just hear me start laughing and just shake his head at me because he just knows.
And I don't get any context. I don't get any this is what I'm laughing at because this is hilarious. It's just like, no, it's our private group. I don't get to explain. I was like, okay, I'll just sit here and not know anything.
I just let his imagination run wild with the crazy stuff that we're talking about. All right, do you want to go to the next message?
All right, next one.
All right.
I said it in the group and I'll say it now. Congratulations, guys, on making it in. SchmoeDownUnder 2021.
Yes, SchmoeDownUnder.
Yep. Yeah. Good to hear, fellow Aussies.
How do you feel representing all of Australia?
It's slightly terrifying. It's slightly terrifying that I have that weight now on my shoulder. I'm the Australian representative of this league. The entire weight of how Australia does in this league is on my shoulders now. That is slightly terrifying.
You've essentially been sent to the Olympics, and it's all on you.
It's all on me.
I mean, it's half on me, but not as much as you. I kind of get the honorary badge, but it's definitely more on you.
Yes.
So as far as rookie status goes, the way it works is if you're in a free-for-all and it's not an official match and you debut, let's say Jen Kemp or Cameron Rice, and you don't play a match and they play the season, still a rookie. But if you have a match, whether it's one match, any match that can be deemed as a loss, whether it's teams, singles, hence ace, then it counts.
No, I totally understand that. I just, it's a weird mindset thing for me. Just because of the way it's perceived by everybody. Technically, yes, that's 100% correct. It's just interesting because of the way people view you anyway, if that makes sense. It's hard for people to get their mind around that.
Well, I mean, Craig has all but been calling you a rookie. After shows, he'd been going out and saying, I know technically she's not, and I know, and for all intents and purposes, for all awards, for all records, for everything, you're not a rookie. You have played in the league, which also I think is benefit to you because you have actually got some form of experience, and you're not going to be anywhere near as nervous as you were the first time. But in that, you still. Craig has been essentially calling you a rookie, so it is interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting, and I do think it's and anyone who brings it up, people will make comments in the Facebook group and say, "Oh, the Finstock Exchange drafted all rookies." There's no caveat to except for Taylor. They drafted all rookies, so I just think that's interesting. All right, what do we got?
Hey guys, good luck for the season. Can't stick around to listen. Got to take the young fella to swimming, but big ups from over here in Western Australia.
9 a.m. in the morning.
So
thank you.
I know. Yeah.
It is weird, hey, how we're trying to lean into an American time zone, but we're an Australian show, so our Australian audiences listening live is a lot harder than the American audience. It's just it's interesting.
It is. It's 12:20 in the morning here on Saturday, and so it's kind of an okay time for an Australian audience, but it's
Mm.
it's definitely an interesting game of like Tetris. You have to play with time zones when we try and do stuff.
Yeah, it's always been very fun. All right. Do you want to start doing
Oh,
this
hold
little
on. I
fantasy
think we have
draft?
one more. Oh, we have a couple
Oh,
more. Hold on.
we have a few more. All righty.
Yeah.
I hope this works. I've never used this app before, but Taylor, are you only going to do IG this year, or are you wanting to do more? And Jacob, I don't know anything about you. What are your strengths? Are you singles, teams, IG, Star Wars? What? Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We are also doing this for the first time, so we have no idea what we're doing either. So we're all learning together. It's fantastic. I was drafted as an IG player. That's all that I've ever done other than free for all. That is my main focus. I have talked about being interested in doing teams or singles if that opportunity comes up, but it's my strength is definitely IG. And I think that's where my energy is going to go this season. If this season is successful, which it's going to be because I'm going to come in and just destroy everything if all goes according to planned. If that happens this season, possibly, and I get to keep going in the future, I might try to expand, but I think that's where my focus is going to be.
Yeah, my focus is very much on singles. I am a former fan league singles champion, so that's where my energy is definitely going. But I would love to dabble in IG, but at the same time, again, international, I do have a bit of a ceiling on me. This year is very much a focusing on singles, getting my 3 matches, and then if an opportunity comes up for teams or for inner geekdom, I would love to take it. I am staying very far away from Star Wars because that is not my strength whatsoever. I have probably enough knowledge to get me through inner geekdom in Star Wars, but I could never do the whole league. No, never in a million years am I going to survive in that league.
That's fair enough. I can appreciate that. Star Wars is so deep cut now that it's like bravo to anyone who can actually hold their own because it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
All right.
And I forgot to say, I'm still waiting for my invite. SchmoeDownUnder, baby. You!
We are going to be doing more shows throughout the season, and we are going to be inviting people on. So I'm actually really excited to explore this because, like I said, this is a whole new platform for everybody, and I'm excited to see what we can do with it. But if this first show goes well and people enjoy it, we're definitely going to do more and invite people on, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it will be too, and I think it's a great platform. It's definitely a unique and different platform, and I'm really excited about this and talking more Schmoedown and even doing other topics and talking other things as well. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun. All right, do you want to start and kick off this fantasy draft?
Yeah, so Jacob and I are just going to do a fantasy draft, but we're each going to draft 11 players because we've counted ourselves as being on our teams. So we're just going to kind of do a draft of only a faction amount of people for each of us, just so we can actually talk about the draft, but we also don't want to try and draft every single person because between the two of us, that'll just be a freaking mess. It would be a mess, and we wouldn't actually get to really talk about any of the stuff that we want to talk about. So yeah, if you're ready to jump into this, I will let you go first.
Okay. With my number 1 overall pick, I am going to select Chance Ellison.
Ooh.
The reason I'm doing that is he is a genuine triple threat, if not a quadruple threat. And I think he is one of the most underrated and best players in this entire league. And he has the ability to go for the Inner Geekdom again. He has the ability to go for the singles championship again. And him and Mike are one of the single best teams in this entire league, and I think he is absolutely going to kill it. So with the number 1 overall draft pick, I am picking Chance Ellison.
All right. Well, kind of following with that trend, my number one overall pick is going to be Mike. I'm taking Mike
Oh,
Kalinowski as my number one pick. I have been following Mike for a long time. He's always been one of my favorite competitors. When he first joined the league, I started the first Facebook group supporting Mike Kalinowski as Mike the Killer Kalinowski. And we would quiz him on trivia and just kind of be there to encourage him. And I don't think a lot of people know that, but I think that he's always been such a scary player. When he really decides he's gonna buckle down and be scary, he's great in intergeekdom, he's great in singles, he's great in teams. So he is going to be my number one pick.
all right. With number 2 draft, I am picking Dan Merle. What more can you say? He is the greatest of all time. There's no getting around that. He is one of the few competitors that has, every time he loses it, he comes back and wins it again. He is one of the best competitors to ever play the game. So I'm going to say Dan Merle.
All right. Very nice. Well, with my second pick, I am going to take. I'm going to take Mr. Adam Collins. I know. I know. I'm going to take Adam Collins before you can get him because he is just something else, honestly. I don't even have to explain to you guys why I'm taking Adam Collins.
Yeah, look, Adam is an incredibly scary player. He is extremely knowledgeable, extremely good at what he does, and it's quite amazing to think. Not only has he got 8 wins, but he got 8 wins in essentially 6 months. Like he has broken the all-time record in essentially 6 months because he wasn't drafted in the first half of the year. So it's absolutely incredible, and the fact that I'm get to learn from him is insane. And I am so lucky and
seriously,
absolutely beyond excited to be able to do that. So that is a fantastic pick. With my third pick, I need a Star Wars. I am going to take Alex Damon because he's the champ. He knows so much, and I actually don't see him getting dethroned anytime soon. Except maybe Sean or Scrimshaw.
That's fair. That's fair enough. That's a good pick. With my third pick, I'm going to take Miss Mara Knopic.
Nice. I was debating taking Mara.
I was worried you were going to take her right before I could grab her. I love Mara. She is fantastic. She is such a warrior. She has been such an inspiration for me personally, especially when it comes to intergeekdom, just what she is able to achieve. And I'm really excited to see her back and what she's going to do this season. I think she's going to be scary.
Yeah, I do too. I think she's going to be very scary, and he's going to be a fantastic player. All right. With my fourth pick, I'm going to take Marisol.
All right.
She is incredibly talented and an incredible player, and that gets me a bona fide, genuine, outside of Dan, a singles player, someone who is just incredibly good at singles. So yeah, I'm going to take Marisol.
All right. So for me, I'm going to pick my Star Wars player now, and I'm going to take Mr. Gold Leader.
Ooh.
He is a rookie from my faction, from the Finstock Exchange, and I'm very, very excited to see what he is going to do this season. I think he is going to be fantastic, and I'm definitely taking him for my Star Wars pick, at least my first one.
Okay.
Do we want to take a second and listen to this message?
Yes.
I don't want to be this guy. He has 7 wins. but
Oh,
he's got a chance to get 8 wins, unless you're including teams. But he's still 7-0, one away from tying the record.
Jeez,
Sorry,
Jacob, what are
7
you
wins.
doing?
God.
Jeez.
7 wins. Yes. I'm I'm from the future. I'm projecting the future. I know what's going to happen, and it's going to be 8 wins because it's, it's Adam. So yes.
All right. Who's your
Definitely
pick?
didn't mess that one up. Okay, my 5th pick. Oh, you know what? I think he's going to be scary this year, and you're going to hate me that I'm taking him. The Barbarian is coming to my side.
Jacob. Rude. So rude. Why would you do that? It's fine. I took Mike and Adam Collins from you. So. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some beats going on. Okay.
Points work differently here in Australia. I'll back you up there, Jacob.
That's fair. All right, let's just take
we
that.
do math differently over here. Oh, jeez. Okay, with my next pick, I am going to take Griffin Newman. He is also Finstock Exchange. He is a rookie, and I really think that the league is not prepared for just how scary he is actually going to be. I'm really, really excited to have him in the league and to have him on the Finstock Exchange. So he is going to be my 5th pick.
All right. I should probably start looking at other factions. What do I need? I am going to have a look at. Yeah, all right. I'm going to go the kid, Brendan Meyer.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I definitely think that's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go the kid, Brendan Meyer.
Okay. All right. So with my next pick, I am going to grab someone that I think fell way too far in the draft. I'm going to pick Ace.
Ooh, Ace. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
good pick.
He
definitely
fantastic.
fell way too far. Way too low.
He is fantastic, and I love him, and I think he is, once again, one of those competitors that can just be scary when he is on. So Ace is coming to my team.
All right. We have another one. All righty.
Guys, Chance Ellison. Better go those triple threats.
Chance is my number 1 overall draft pick. So, yes.
Yeah, he swiped
him.
Swiped him right away. He was off the board immediately.
He was. Next up, I am going to pick Liz Shannon Miller.
Ooh, that's a great pick.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Very interesting.
All right. My next pick that I'm going to go with, man. My next pick is going to be Molly Damon.
Oh, okay.
Molly is my next pick. Yep. I love Molly, first of all. I just think that she's fantastic. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about her. I'm always excited about Molly. I think she's awesome. Yeah. And
can I just
what?
Can I just say we're 8 rounds in? Oh, sorry, we're about to start the 8th round, and no one has picked Roker. He's not going to be very happy about that.
Yeah, well, we can't always get what we want.
And in saying that, I'm not picking Roker. I'm instead
going
to pick Robert Parker.
Now you've done it.
Pick Robert Parker.
Now you've done it. Not only do you point that out, then you don't draft him. Now you've done it.
I was really thinking about it, but now I'm going to go Robert Parker.
You're just trying to get us pulled off the air before we've even started any of this. You're just trying to get us banished. Okay, so you're picking Robert Parker.
Yo.
Is that correct? Okay. I am going to go with. Man, this is getting tough. We're getting down to the wire here. I am going to pick. I'm going to pick Janine.
Oh.
Janine is my next pick. She is just awesome. And I think she is always undervalued. I think she's always undervalued.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I definitely agree with that. All right, next pick, I'm going to go Video Drew.
Oh, that's a great pick. That is a great pick.
Yeah, I'm going Video Drew.
She's fabulous. All right. My next pick. I know. We're really getting down to it now. My next pick, I'm going to go with. Man, I'm going to go with Mr. Mark Haas. He is a rookie drafted by the Finstock Exchange, and he has skills in pretty much every single league, honestly. Like, he could compete wherever I want to put him. So, yeah. I feel like it would be ridiculous not to pick him up.
That's fair. All right. I'm going to do it. Roker, you're coming over.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. My next pick, I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with JTE.
Okay. Interesting.
JTE is my next pick.
Alrighty. We've got two left.
This is. Yeah. Wait, do we?
We're doing. Oh no! Sorry, we've got one left.
We have one left.
Oh,
because you're on your own team. This is the last pick.
I need another Star Wars player. I'm going to go Laura Kelly.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. All right. With the last pick
of the draft.
Of our mock draft. Whew. You know what? I'm going to pick somebody that I think has great skills in both Inner Geekdom and singles, and also is potentially someone who could be great as part of a team with what I already have going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be Mr. Eric Zipper.
Oh, that'd be good.
Definitely. So that is pick. My last. All right. Do you want to go through your list? Who you've got
here's
there?
My list. Chance Ellison, Dan Mill, Alex Damon, Marisol McKee, Barbarian, Brendan Meyer, Liz Shannon Miller, Robert Parker, Video Drew, Jordan Roker, and Laura Kelly.
Plus yourself.
Plus me, yes.
That's a great list.
Yep. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I'm actually pretty happy with that.
You should be pretty happy about that. So my list is Mike Kalinowski, Mara Knopik, Ace, Molly Damon, Janine, Adam Collins, Griffin Newman, Gold Leader, JTE, Eric Zipper, and myself.
Nice. That's really good.
I'm pretty stoked with what I ended up with here. If you had room for one more pick, who was going to be your next pick? Like, who just missed out for you?
Paul Ayama.
Yeah.
I'd consider putting Paul Ayama in my team.
The people for me that I was debating with my last pick. I was either thinking I might have gone with Stacey Howard.
Mm.
And I was also just on the verge of Jeffrey Kahn, because he's another rookie from the Finstock Exchange that I think is very undervalued, that no one else was paying attention to him. So they just missed out for me.
Oh, we have a message.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, Taylor. Got Jacob on this. Great team.
That's fine.
It's going with you. It's going with the Aussie.
The faction that I'm already drafted on is the one that people don't think is going to do anything. Everyone thinks the Finstock Exchange is nonsense. So, it's fine. I'll take it. I'll take that nobody's on my team. That's fine.
So I reckon it's just, if we real quick look over some of these actual, these drafts, I think everyone had a really good draft. I don't think there's been anything that's genuinely terrible drafts. I think everyone had a pretty good one.
I agree. I don't think I look at any single faction and go, oof, that they didn't do well with anything that they're trying to do. I think they all clearly had very different strategies, and they all have very different things in mind of what's going to work best for them, which is completely fascinating to me, because we talked about it as we were watching the draft. The draft didn't go the way that anyone thought it was going to. None of the after shows or anyone predicted the draft going the way that it did.
No. And that's what I thought was so fascinating about it, was afterwards we were all like, oh. I think the thing that set the mood was Amaru going second. As soon as that happened, it was, that's where we're going with this. Okay, I'm excited. This is really good. And then you started getting the veterans back in, which was good. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
So Christian just announced a whole bunch of matches. We've got some. Actually, we'll do that after these questions. Hang on.
Yeah.
So, what were your guys' thinking of these in this draft? Like guys like Bibbs and Draco, and like you said, Oyama. Like, how can they not be drafted in a top 12 draft?
That's a good question. For me, I look at Bibbs, and if I had the space, I would, but I also need the points, and I'm more looking at them going, okay, what value can I get out of these players, and how many divisions can they play in, and who can play in Star Wars, who can play in IG, who can also play in singles, and who is going to go on runs, and who's going to be available to play in a lot of matches. And that's kind of why I've gone with who I've gone with.
The other tough thing, I think, is the draft board was so big this year. Like, the amount of people who were able to be drafted versus the amount of spots that there were is just insane. Like, at the end of the day, there are going to be people who miss out. And once again, I think that goes back to drafting strategy, like what managers were specifically looking for and how they're planning on taking on the season, because there are plenty of ways you can do it, plenty of ways you can build a faction that you think is going to be successful. So I'm very, very interested to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and I also think the way I drafted was looking at, Christian's announced certain matches. So, Dan, I picked Dan instead of Snyder. And I if Dan wins that game, Snyder's not going to be able to have another game anytime soon. Or not have a game soon, but his ranking will fall down a little bit. So it's what competitor is going to get more games more quickly. That's kind of where I was going with mine.
Yeah, with mine, I wanted to pick those couple of people that are very established, that have a good record already, that are probably going to deliver for you, with your Mikes and your Adam Collins and your JT and your Eric Zipper. But then there are also so many exciting unknowns, so many exciting rookies that are competing this year that you can't leave them out either. Yeah.
All right.
Taylor obviously has the best list here. I mean, it's amazing. She chose JT. What else can you say? Whoever this other guy is you're talking with on here, he's just doesn't seem to have the skills to compete in anything, really. Good luck, guys.
I mean, what else do you need to say? Obviously, JT thinks that my list is the best, so that's all I really need to know.
I'm just gonna let that one go. I'm not even. You know what? I'm better than that. I'm just gonna let that one go, and I'm not even gonna go there. All right, let's talk about these matchups because I'm actually really excited about the matches that he just announced.
Yeah.
And I'm putting on, analyst head here. Amaru Moses versus Jesse Swift is, I think, the one that I'm the most excited about out of all of the announcements that they have made.
I cannot wait for this one.
This is going to be a fantastic match.
This is really going to set the scene for rookies, really. You've got two highly anticipated rookies, and it's time now. It's showtime. There's no more practicing or hoping you get drafted no, this is it. Now you got to step up and show you got to show us what you're made of. And I'm really, really excited because I think these two have a lot to offer, but it's just such a huge, I'm trying to wrap my head around it because there's a lot at stake from this first match, really.
There is. I mean, and both are really competing and both have a lot to prove because Amaru, he's got I was the number 2 overall draft pick against his name. And there's a lot of weight behind that. But then you've also got Jesse, who's been coming out swinging, and he's got a lot to prove. He's got to back it up. So both people have a lot to lose, but also a lot to gain from this game, this match. And I am beyond excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree. These two are two rookies that a lot of people have been talking about too. Most people know who these two are. So that adds a whole other element of they're not just unknowns completely. They're people who've been talked up for a while. So
yeah,
I'm super stoked.
I'm very excited for that one. I think it's a great first match back out after the two that he'd already announced, if that makes any sense with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, Marie Wilson versus Sean Sullivan in a Star Wars divisional game. This is a really, really great matchup, I think, and I think we are going to get a really interesting matchup that I'm very excited about.
I love watching Star Wars matches because it's a league that I know I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. It's just a match when I can enjoy the level of skill that's happening in front of me because it's, like I said, it's just completely a league of its own. And I'm so excited for the rookies that we have coming in because as much as any of the leagues are a prove it, going into the Star Wars league as a rookie is, no, you got to prove it. It's ruthless.
This is going to be tough because if as we were saying last year, a lot of the tournament, the Star Wars tournament, realistically, a lot of those matches came down to someone missed 1 or 2 questions. So a lot of these matches are really going to come down to that, where if they miss 1 question, are you never going to get a chance to come back? It's fascinating about this, and I think both of these competitors are really strong. Obviously, I'll be pulling for Sean because it's Sean and he is amazing, and of course he's going to win, but I'm very excited for this matchup.
Yeah, I love watching Star Wars matches. Star Wars is my heart, and I love watching people just nerd out about it.
And then our first singles match of the week, we get Vinny Mancuso versus Marisol McKee. Obviously, Marisol's going to win this. Quite obviously. It's not even close. It's going to be Marisol is going to come out and be the best because she is the best.
That's fair enough. I'm in all seriousness, I'm very excited to see what she's going to do this season. I really think she's going to be fantastic. She is such a hard worker. She is one of those people where you know that if she's not the strongest, she's going to get there. Like, she just is. She's going to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. She will. And lastly, we get the pay-per-view Dan Merle versus Jeff Snyder.
How excited are you?
I'm beyond excited for this one. I think Dan Merle is probably going to win this one. I know Snyder got Player of the Year, but I think Dan is going to win this because he wants his belt back, and I think we're going to get a repeat of what happened last year of him I think he'll win the number one contenders match, and then he'll come in and Adam will beat him. But I'm very, very excited for this game. I'm very excited for this matchup.
That's fair. Do you want to jump onto this?
Sorry?
Do you want to jump on to whoever's waiting to talk to us?
I'm not getting that, but I have no idea who's waiting to talk to us.
All right. I don't know either, but before we move on to that, I will check it out in a second. I think it's a danger match for Dan Merle. Just because Snyder had such a strong season, but it's impossible for me to pick one. Like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those matches where it's like, I feel like it could go either way. If Snyder has a strong match, it can be very interesting.
It could. This will be a fantastic game, and I'm very excited for it. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Well, I think that's pretty much everything we wanted to talk about for this week.
Yeah.
That's kind of wrapping it up in terms of jumping into talking about the season. The draft was a lot of fun. It was a lot of craziness. I'm really, really glad that we got to be a part of it. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited for this season. I'm very, very trepidatious and nervous about my first match whenever that comes. But until then, I'm just studying and watching movies as much as I